20 entering the fourth quarter. The Warriors beat the Pelicans in overtime. They're up 3-0. It's the third largest deficit overcome entering the fourth quarter in NBA playoff history. By the way, the Warriors had been 0-358 when trailing by 20 or more entering the fourth quarter of any game in the shot clock era.
Unbelievable. We'll get in more into this game. Steph Curry with the game-tying three. Should have been over because he got hammered on the game-tying three.
How is that not a foul?
I have no idea, but he missed a shot before that, and by the way, his foot was on the line. So if he actually made that, it would have been a 2. They'd have still been down a point. But he missed that, gets another shot at the 3, hits it, gets hammered. They don't call the foul, so it goes to overtime, and they never trailed in overtime. But he puts up 40 in this one. This you want to talk about a dagger, because here's New Orleans, first time in the playoffs. Anthony Davis, we're all excited to see him in the playoffs, and they have this huge lead, and all of a sudden, knife to the heart in this one.
Meanwhile, Cavaliers and Bulls each win, so all three series that continued yesterday are 3-0. Chicago, its fourth ever double or triple overtime game in the postseason. They won in 2 OTs in Milwaukee, dominating in the second. Only the Celtics have more with 7, while LeBron got his 8th career 30-10 game against the Celtics in the playoffs. No other player has more than 3.
A couple things in this one. Derrick Rose, 34 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 48 minutes. So playing more time. We're getting back to the old Derrick Rose. Him and Jimmy Butler combined for 58 points. I think we're getting closer and closer to everybody thinks that matchup is going to be of Cleveland and the Bulls, as Kevin Love scores 23 points. Can't figure out what he's going to do night in and night out, but big night for him last night.
Speaking of comebacks, the Lightning overcome a 2-goal deficit on the road with under 6 minutes to even their series with Detroit at 2 games apiece. Elias tells us it's the 4th time in Stanley Cup playoff history a team has overcome a 2-goal deficit on the road with 6 minutes left or less in the third period to win. So we got some very exciting postseason hockey in round 1.
Yeah, we do. 3 goals in a 7:51 span at the end of regulation, and that one Lightning snap a 6-game road playoff losing streak to keep that one going.
How about the New York Mets, who continue rolling, winning their 11th straight? Elias tells us they become the 7th team since 1900 to win every game on a homestand of 10 games or more. They sweep 3 consecutive series against divisional opponents. The last team to win 10 or more straight games on a homestand, the 1991 Twins, they went on to win the World Series. So I notice a trend. We keep talking about all these things the Mets are doing, and the last time anyone did it, they won the World Series.
So let me ask you this, because you're more of a fan of a team than I am.
Sure.
And really, I should probably ask Bubba this. If you're a Met fan, I'm sure you're happy, but are you confident? You know, are you more than just, wow, this is a nice run, because A, all these comparisons to that World Series year, and B, it's so early in the season still. So are you just happy, or are you boastfully confident that this is going to continue?
I think right now you're just excited.
I think so as well.
I think you're just excited with the Subway Series this weekend. You're thinking if they win the series with the Yankees, if they sweep the series with the Yankees, then forget it.
Right.
But if you just win this series with the Yankees, I think you'll feel pretty good about yourself. So there's Off the Top with us here. Mike and Mike, presented by Progressive Insurance. More independent agents sell Progressive Insurance than any other brand. Find an agent at Progressive.com. Now that's Progressive. With regard to that, just quickly on the Subway Series, Yankees are hot as well.
Yeah, they are.
They come in red hot. They just won a series from the Tigers, who had the best record in baseball. Now the Mets have the best record in baseball, and they're just playing ridiculously well. And I guess what you have to look at in baseball is, you know, that everything is going to equal itself out to some degree.
Exactly.
A 10-game win streak, it's actually an 11-game win streak, 10 straight on the homestand. You know that there's going to be, it's unrealistic to think that that's just going to continue sort of indefinitely. But if you bank a couple of those along the way, it makes a difference. I mean, in a competitive world, that makes a difference, and they've done it with a variety of injuries. I mean, things actually, if you didn't see that they'd been winning and you just heard all the things that have happened, you'd be thinking, oh, my goodness, what a disastrous start with all the injuries that they've had. But instead, they're just playing out of their minds, and it sets up a Subway Series that has more juice, I think, than any that I can think of in years.
Yeah, I agree. You know, so a couple of trends like that of where the Mets are going right now, the Yankees are doing the Subway Series, and the fact that the Kansas City Royals are on pace to have 91 91 ejections this year. I just did the math.
Another one. I watched the highlight of that thing coming in there. First of all, they and the White Sox always have had problems.
Yeah, they have.
The White Sox and Royals always have had problems. If you didn't see it last night, do you know who's looking for a fight? You can always tell the football players.
Oh, yeah, Samardzija.
When they're looking for a fight. Samardzija was ready to go.
Yes, he was. Yeah, it's exactly right. And he's a largeon, too.
He came running out there. Someone threw a haymaker at him and missed.
Because he was going for Lorenzo Cain.
Right.
That's who he was going after.
And it just jumped out of my head. Who was it threw the punch at him? It'll come to me, or someone will give it to me. But, I mean, I'm talking about a George Foreman haymaker right hand that misses Samardzija by about 20 feet. Well, 20 feet's an exact, but you know what I mean. Not even close. Edison Valdez. That's right. Tries as hard as he can. If that punch connects, I would have been fascinated to see what the discipline would have been. Right. Because you're talking about like a wind-up and a major haymaker throw.
I mean, the deal starting, I know we're getting off on this, is Ventura. I mean, another ejection for him.
He's been ejected in consecutive games.
Didn't get suspended in their whole deal that was going on with the A's, but now in this one, this wasn't protecting anybody either. This was he's staring at Eaton on a comebacker as he's running down the first base line, and he's running, and that's what causes it. I mean, that was they're staring at one another.
Well, there had been a couple of hit by pitches earlier in the game.
So we got the stare down going, then we got the play that ends the inning. All of a sudden, it's like it was that was the fuse was lit and it's just burning. You could see he's saying something. Is Eaton saying something back to him? They go at one another, and that's the ball game. Ventura's you got to believe.
Oh, there'll be suspensions galore coming out of this one.
Doubt in this one in Kansas City, they have 9. That's why I was saying about their 91. They have 9 ejections already this year. 5 of them last night.
And they're about to get a variety of suspensions coming out of this one from last night. All right, Mike and Mike, let's do 1 minute for 1-800-Flowers. Then we'll get into the NBA action on the floor last night. I got NFL trade rumors galore. We got something I never thought we'd hear. Reasonable comments about Tim Tebow. Very reasonable comments about Tim Tebow. Whoever thought we'd get those, we will. You want stuff on the fight? You want the answers to the biggest questions about the big fight coming up? You're going to get them from Jim Lampley in this hour. So jam-packed we are with Mike and Mike. 1 minute here for 1-800-Flowers.com because there are so many reasons to send roses this time of year. You might have a birthday to celebrate, an anniversary to celebrate, and Mother's Day, most importantly, is right around the corner. Celebrate all the special occasions by sending a beautiful rose bouquet from 1-800-Flowers.com.
Sometimes we say less is more, not in this case. More is more, and you're going to get it for a great price because 1 or 2 dozen roses, that's really nice, no doubt about it. But how about 3 dozen roses? What do you think that's going to do for your significant other and the smile that's going to put on their face? Which is why 1-800-Flowers.com has created this exclusive offer for our listeners and our viewers. 36 stunning multicolored roses for $36. That's 36 roses, $36. That's the value. This week only, and this week is ending, so get it done today, gang. Have it delivered by tomorrow or lock this deal in for delivery in time for Mother's Day. To order 36 roses for $36, go to 1-800-Flowers.com from your desktop or your mobile device. Click on the radio microphone in the upper right corner, enter Mike. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, enter Mike, or call 1-800-Flowers and mention our first name.
Rebound space, Curry in the corner, shoots, on the way, got it! He hit it! 2.8 to go. He got clobbered as well. Holiday to throw it in. Tyreek Evans from midcourt. Shoots, good if it goes. No good. We're going to overtime.
KNBR, the call of the final seconds of regulation last night in New Orleans. That is about as unbelievable a sequence as you will ever see. And what gets buried underneath all of it, I mean, Curry makes an unbelievable 3 from the corner with Anthony Davis flying at him. I mean, the sight... The image, and you and I have both played a little bit of basketball in our lives, and neither of us especially well. No. But the sight of Anthony Davis flying at you with his arm extended the way he does, with his arm up in the air, he's got to be covering 15 feet.
So obviously,
right?
you got to elevate a little bit.
And Curry gets that thing up to go, a 3 in the corner. He gets tackled in the corner, no call. He got hammered.
I cannot believe he actually looked at the ref when he got up as New Orleans in the last couple of seconds is trying to get a last-second basket.
And almost did.
I can't believe he didn't get the scenario there, as I just went through earlier. Steph Curry, a great shooter. If he'd have made the shot he missed, that would have been a 2-pointer because his foot was on the line. His foot was on the line. So if that's a 2-pointer, they're still down a point with New Orleans having possession and out of bounds under the basket. But he misses, gets it back, and you saw the shot he hit. He gets hammered. He should have been at the free throw line to win the game.
Now, here's the deal. Curry scores 40 last night. He makes that shot unbelievable, no question about it. If you didn't see it, Steph Curry missed a bunch of shots in the fourth quarter, and they got every offensive rebound. In the fourth quarter, the Warriors outscored the Pelicans 39-19. Again, New Orleans has a 20-point lead going to the fourth quarter. They outscore them 39-19. They got 10 offensive rebounds and 16 second-chance points. They got it felt like in one sequence, they got every offensive rebound to put the game back. They were 7 of 9 on field goals on second chance opportunities, including that last one by Curry at the end there. So that's the story of the game. As great as Curry's shot is, and he scores 40, that's all well and good. The backcourt of Curry and Thompson scores 68 points, all well and good. The story of the game is they got it felt like every offensive rebound in the fourth quarter, and that's how they got back in the game.
Even for the guy, I don't think I've ever seen defensive rebound, offensive rebound this close. They had 51 rebounds, 29 defensive, 22 offensive rebounds. Yeah. You mentioned so many of them in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's giving yourself another chance. And as I said earlier, forgetting the points, forgetting what's going on the court, what a dagger. I mean, what a first game in New Orleans for this playoffs for Anthony Davis. Okay, you lost on the road, but now you're at home, and here you are with the lead you have at halftime. I think it was 11, or right in that area there, and you extend it to 20.
It was 11.
It was 11. You extend it to 20 going into the fourth quarter. The place is going bananas. Absolutely bananas. And then they kept trying to talk to Anthony Davis after the game. What happened? And really the most he could get out was, we missed shots, they made shots.
Yeah, here's what he said.
We missed shots and they made shots.
There it is.
That was it.
Execute. Wasn't playing defense. Was giving up transition points. We wasn't making shots. And they took advantage of it.
He had 29 and 15, played 46 minutes.
I was listening to, there was the long interview, and they would try to, and I get it, ask in different ways, and he'd give a couple of words, and then he'd just go back to, we missed shots, they made shots. I mean, that was it, and they kept getting extra chances, as Greedy mentioned with the offensive rebounds, to get more shots. It was unreal. I mean, because what a great moment for New Orleans. Now, I didn't think they were going to win the series, but to grab that game, the first game back there.
It would have been good.
Oh, would have been fantastic. I mean, you want to talk. You can't suck the air out of the sails any more than that one.
Yeah, if you're just a basketball fan, you got good news, bad news coming out of last night, which is the bad news, all three series went to 3-0.
Yeah,
so they're all over.
Yeah.
The good news is all three games were great. I mean, really good games. The Bulls and Bucks go to double overtime. Bulls completely own the second overtime, but there's some really exciting moments. Derrick Rose plays, I think he played 48 minutes last night. Jimmy Butler, typical, I think he played 51 minutes last night or something like that. So they were phenomenal. They combined, actually I have it here, they combined for 58 points last night.
And he played 53 minutes.
53 minutes for Jimmy Butler. And then the other game, Cleveland and Boston is a good game. It's a good game last night. Boston played them tough.
Then Cleveland just kind of takes control at the end, but Boston, we both like Boston. We both, they need that player. They need that guy to build around there. But I like their players.
Well, the story out of that last night was the emergence of Kevin Love. Love hit some big shots in the fourth quarter. It wasn't just the LeBron and Kyrie show all night long. Kevin Love had 23, and that's what they need.
6 of 10 from three-point land, 8 of 16 overall. As you mentioned, so 23 points, 9 rebounds. So he had that game. I mean, he's the one that's been tough to figure out. Not only almost game by game of how he's going to contribute, but then what he's going to do after the season is over as well. We have time until that. But it's always kind of which direction is it going to go with him. And some, especially if it's a close game at the end, is he even going to be in the game?
The history in basketball, of course, no team has ever come from Love 3 down to win a playoff series. We know it's happened once in baseball. We know it's happened a handful of times now in the NHL. It has never happened in the NBA. And just one more quick stat on the Warriors. I don't know exactly what this means, Mike. I guess, obviously, it's their ability to be explosive. The Warriors have now played 6 games in which they trailed by 20 points or more, including last night. Do you know what their record is? Not necessarily in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But a game in which at any point they trailed by 20. They've played 6 games. You know what their record is?
I'm going to guess 4-2.
3-3.
Really?
3-3. The rest of the NBA, in games in which they trailed by 20 points at any point in a game this season, was 12 and 433.
Oh, no.
12 and 433. The Warriors were 3-3 this year in games in which they trailed at any point by 20 points. So a lead against Golden State. Wow. You can't go to sleep. The big fella gave up. He gave up on Steph Curry.
Again, I was sad because I was happy for New Orleans.
You got to leave it on at least for the dogs.
Well, no, the dogs
Let
were.
the dogs watch the game.
Dogs were snoring at that point. Are you kidding me? And I was happy for New Orleans. They were going to get this win. I was sad because it wasn't a great game, and then I was happy I could actually get a little more sleep because of that.